So here I am still in my little quarantine hole, and man, am I excited to get back into a normal office. Let's see if we can get some nice ones in Berlin. I'll keep you guys updated on my little search that I'm probably going to be starting the next few weeks here. But let's talk about the markets, because in trading today, we were really kind of trading the SPX. We were trading the overall market with a lot of these large caps that were just bouncing off the bottom. And that's not always a bad thing. And today it could have been a really, really good thing if I kind of took a step back and just, took a big deep breath and thought, what is the market doing today? And then thought, how can I adjust my trading strategy a little bit, especially so the risk reward is still good and I'm not getting, blindly jumping into things and I don't really know what I'm doing, but understanding, what the market's doing, understanding that our scanner is picking up a lot of these large cap bouncing stocks. And a lot of these stocks are, we were looking at a few, and one was, I think, at like $8, and then, a few days ago it was at 33 cents, and now it's rallying back up to $2, $3. So we were seeing that stuff across the board, and a lot of these large caps were up 200%. It was just, not really in the typical strategy I'm looking for, because a lot of these large caps have, floats of like 400 million, and they move a lot slower. But today, the market didn't really care. They were going to be moving regardless, because that's where the action was. That's what the traders were looking at. So knowing that, I should have been probably a little bit more aggressive, but overall being conservative this month has really been a key to my success this month. This has been one of my best months, but this whole week, I kind of was still a little bit too conservative while the volume is coming down in the overall market a little bit. And I think this whole month, this whole week, I just calculated like I'm down $13 in my Gap and Go strategy account. So it's like, we had some up days, we had some green days and red days. It's been a little bit choppy for me. And because every day it's like a whole different thing. We have some days we have like today, large cap bouncing. Some days we'll have beautiful small caps running. But then, later in the day, and then yesterday we had finally in the early morning of the day, small caps running. So it's just like, it's a very inconsistent lately. And that's why I'm still a little bit more conservative. But understanding what the day is going to look like based on the scanner, I think I could probably be adjusting my strategy a little bit quicker. I know some of you guys were already calling me out for that in the chat room today, but boom, there it is. So I think I could definitely do that. But at the same time, being conservative is never the worst idea. Sometimes you may miss a few trades, but you typically avoid sometimes the big red days as well. As long as you don't just, start getting FOMO at the end of the day and then get aggressive when you should be getting conservative. So also think about that. There's one more kind of like featured topic, I guess you can say, that I want to talk about today, and that is the 5-minute candle breakout and the 1-minute candle pullback, which is oftentimes one of my favorite ways to enter a breakout kind of trade. I got asked today in this stream what I mean by 5-minute breakout, because I noticed I say it all the time, but I don't think I've really ever explained it fully. So I'll fully explain it in this video. All right, guys, let's go to the charts now, talk about all those things, talk about the stocks, the 5-minute breakout and the 1-minute pullback and all that fun stuff. Remember, if you enjoy this content, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're totally new here, definitely consider subscribing. I would love to see you again in an upcoming recap or a stream. So let's go to the charts now and check out what that ding noise was. Probably just missed another trade. All right, so I'm over here. It's 11:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm watching GPMT, which was our lead gapper on the day. And let me just kind of go back here a little bit. This thing up pre-market about 120%, has a nice little pullback and really consolidates in this area for quite some time before having the big run to the upside. And let's just focus on GPMT for a little bit, figure out, what made this one the lead gapper on the day. It had about 55, or actually I think the float was closer to 50 million, but about 55 million shares outstanding, and it was gapping up, like I said, about 115%. Now, almost all the stocks we were looking at when we ran the morning scanner, all the market caps were really, really high, and not a lot of the small, your typical small cap gap and go stocks were really moving that much. It was a lot of larger caps today. And this could really just keep on breaking out over here. It's kind of tempting not to want to trade this. So far, we had a nice little breakout here, and then we're getting a little curl back. And by the way, in the chat today, we had a question. Why was what do you mean by a 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback? And I oftentimes say it in the stream because it's it's a place I really like to enter a trade. So here you can see we have constant consolidation to the downside, and then finally we break to the upside here on the 5-minute candle, and that's this candle right here. And then this is the first 1 minute pullback, and this is the 3 1 minutes pulls back. So here we have a 5-minute breakout and a 1 minute pullback. Now this was 3 pullbacks, 3 red pullbacks, but before coming back over here, let's zoom in a little bit. We have this area, and I'm trying to figure out where this is. This is 940, so right around here. And yeah, so here, boom, we have the nice breakout here, and we have a 1-2 minute pullback. And then, so this is the 5-minute breakout and then a 1 minute pullback. So again, that's a classic example. And then somewhere here, it happened again. I think it was right on this candle at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is right here. Yeah, this one exactly is the one I remember in the stream when someone asked me because I called it out. So we had, I think it was this right here, 10 o'clock, we had this nice 5-minute breakout, right? Because we're constantly being rejected from this area at around 6.22 and get rejected, and then boom, this 5-minute candle finally breaks above it. So we have this, that's the 1 minute candle doing it, and then we have a 1 minute pullback. This would have been a really good entry. And this is what I was saying on the stream, like I should be entering this trade. I don't really want to though, because yeah, it's our lead gapper, but it doesn't fit my trading criteria. I'm really, I don't know, it's bothering me a little bit because in hindsight, it was actually quite obvious. I don't like the fact that it had 50 million float. I typically look for south of 10 million, and 5 times more of a float is a pretty big difference. But I just got to understand, like, today is a day where we have these kind of larger companies. I mean, also the market cap is 394. It's 400 million right now. So, I should have understand that. That's where the momentum is today. And I think I haven't been adapting enough this week alone. I checked my stats and I'm actually down $13 this week in my Gap and Go strategy account. I'm up much more in my long-term or my swing trading account where I like to buy support and resistance levels. Now, it's tough because it's not that there wasn't really opportunities. There was plenty of really good opportunities. I just kind of was a little bit too conservative on all of them because, in the last 2 weeks, it's actually totally paid to be conservative because we've had such a wild market. So I don't really regret the way I've been trading, but it's been a little stressful because, any normal day, I probably would have jumped on these setups. And I feel like the overall market is like making me lose my groove this week a little bit, which happens. And I know I'll get it back eventually, but I think this week alone was a little bit stressful because I just had to go through that phase of just constantly missing moves because I don't know, just weird environment. And then I'm getting stuck in moves like WSG, which I'll might as well just talk about it now. So this was our second lead gapper. Where is it on this list? Should be over here. Yeah. And we had a really nice dip buy on WSG right here. Actually at let me quickly go here. It was 253. Price was coming down. We had a nice pre-market rally here. This one was up on news. It's a Chinese company that spun off their Iron Man division. It's an entertainment company, so I'm not totally sure, but I think they bought the Iron Man division and they sold it for 330 million, give or take. It says somewhere down here. They really needed funding, so this was really good for the longevity of the company. And big move like this, 80%, and now we're pulling back to former big time support and resistance. And that's where I had my limit order, and I got a great entry. But for some reason, based on just, you don't see this all the time, but the market was so sketchy and we just had a flash crash down here to 225. And I was like, ooh, wow, that was sketchy. I don't want to really be part of that. The stock could have got halted. It could continue on the way down. All of a sudden we're back to $1, $80 or 70, who knows what. But the bounce happened. This was like a 20% bounce. That's exactly what I wanted. Actually a bit more like 17, 18% bounce. So this could have been a profitable trade and I ended up closing this trade for a small loss. I've been somehow getting on the wrong side of these trades lately. So that's been a little bit annoying, but yeah, I can't really complain. I mean, it's a bit of a scratch of a week overall. I mean, we still have tomorrow, but I've also, not had any big losers. I've been avoiding a lot of big losses, and sometimes you just have to get through a patch where the market doesn't maybe really fit your strategy, or sometimes you're a little bit over conservative or maybe too aggressive, but as long as you live to trade another day, really. So I'm not really too upset. I'm just like, sometimes it happens. You're just like, you're excited to get through it, right? And I think that's kind of the feelings that I'm having right now. just like GPMT, it's a large cap. It has tons of news. There's tons of variables. So it doesn't really matter the specific catalyst. There's also so many stocks that are just like it. So we have MFA and checkout. So just keep an eye on the daily right here on the bottom right. So we have MFA having this huge bottom bounce. And you're basically trading the SPX right now. We're trading the market, the overall market. MFA, similar situation down here, just been selling off lately, and all the way down here, from $8 stock to 32 cents. I mean, that's insane in just a few days. So all these are just having these tremendous bounces. And MFA had a really aggressive pullback here to $2. I should have had a limit order waiting here. I mean, this is like screams my strategy. So I'm a little annoyed that I missed this one. But then we just had all these all over the place. And check out the daily again, super similar chart here, big sell off, little bounce, second sell off, and then today we're gapping up. Similar move, pre-market, nice gap higher, and 31% move, sells off, finds support at 3.5, and then just rips up. So we're having really similar patterns today across the board on all these large caps. This is really something you don't see all the time. So like, don't think that, next week, just keep looking for these setups and you're going to get them back to back, because it's so weird the way the market's been trading. But a clean day today, and we could have adjusted a little bit quicker for it. Especially when I ran the scanner this morning, I knew it was not going to be a small cap day, and I should have been like, okay, it's not going to be a small cap day, but we're having some huge bottom bounces with, IVR, with MITT, which I'll pull up right now, with GPMT. All these stocks are moving the same way. Large caps with big floats. I mean, MFA has a $450 million float. I mean, 450 float. So the amount of shares outstanding that are able to be traded. So it's just, these are huge numbers. So anytime these stocks dip towards big time long-term support and resistance, well, it's not guaranteed, but there's a good chance that there's going to be a big bounce. Like I would probably say north of like 95% chance there's going to be a big heavy bounce. So that's how I should have been trading today, and I should have adjusted and pivoted towards that a little bit quicker. Even trading these on the breakouts would have been pretty profitable. It's really hard for me to get myself to trade a large cap breaking out, because they're very choppy and they typically don't have very nice follow through on breakouts, just because it takes so much capital to move a stock like this. It's not your typical 10 million market cap with a 5 million float. Like this is like MITT, 179 million market cap with a 32 million shares outstanding. Okay, this is actually one of the smaller companies, but still, like, I don't know, kind of put me on edge a little bit. Kind of consolidating here. This could be a secondary great trade, but overall, where you're on these larger companies, you're trading the overall market. They follow the SPX very closely, and that's not really what we're trying to be doing here. But yeah, it was a good, interesting day. I enjoyed it. I was just a little bit upset with that first trade, WSG. We kind of did everything right, but then somehow we still lost on it. So things like that kind of just put me on the wrong side for a little bit. PLIV, why can't we find this symbol? what am I typing in here? PLIN, oops. Yeah, PLIN. I knew something was wrong. So PLIN was also PLIN. Sorry about that. Was also shouted out in the room, and this one was really interesting. Had a solid run up here, but all day I was like, or all morning I was like, I don't really know how to trade this. Like this looks kind of like a little sketchy company. It's not really traded thickly. Look at the dollar volume of 3.4 million. We're looking for at least north of 10 million by like 9:45 or 9:50 latest. So the fact that not a lot of traders are looking at this made me a little cautious. I was thinking about this could be a really good dip buy around 2.8. Yeah, 9% bounce. Then we had another bounce here, 9%. Yeah, I mean this could have been traded pretty nicely, but at the same time, I don't know. A stock like this, you can get lucky, but you could also get very unlucky with it. So I don't really mind that. I didn't trade PLIN. I think the ticket today was those kind of larger companies and buying those dips, holding onto it pre-market, and then just letting them rip, letting them do their thing, because the chances were like the ball was in your court totally. And I mean, this is perfect. I mean, check this out. This opens up, holds the high near $5, which is long-term support and resistance, and then finally breaks out higher here, even gets halted on the way up. So probably buying this last dip when it didn't break down further, and then we actually broke up from it. We had that nice 5-minute breakout, and then 1-minute pullback, like I said in the beginning of this video, would have been the way to trade this one. So like here, no, where it is. Here's the 5-minute breakout. So here you see it on the 1 minute. We have that pullback. This one was 2 candles and then trading that one. Again, this could have been done here. It could have been done here. And then it could have even been done somewhere here. But this one, I don't know. I don't like trading at this point in time anymore. But a lot of opportunities today. Really, really good fun. It was good seeing everyone in the chat room again. It was just, I think today was a day where I should have been a bit more like, well, let me take a step back. Let me think about what the market's doing, deep breaths, and then been like, okay, this is how I should trade today based on what I'm seeing, not based on what I would like to see in the market. So I always say you got to trade the markets in front of you, not the one you want to trade. But today I think I was like stuck in like this, just in a different world of what I wanted to trade. So totally on my fault. We at least survived today with just a small loss. I think we lost like 20 bucks or something today, or whatever that was with WSG. So not really a bad day or anything like that. It just, yeah, definitely some good opportunities that were left on the table, and that just happens sometimes. You can't really kick yourself too much about that. So I guess I'll wrap up the video there. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy the content. Consider subscribing if you're new. I'd love to see you on a future recap video and in a future stream, especially in the chat room. Until next time, guys, I'll see you then first thing on Monday, trade the market open. Till then, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.